Ben Fetzer, Advanced Microbial Professionals. Want to do a quick video about attic spaces. Did a little research. I found out the actual name attic comes from a Greek word or a Greek region of Attica. And this is a region where they began building these upper spaces above the houses to give them a higher profile, give them a more prominent look. It was all about aesthetics at that time. And that's the origin of our modern day attic. So, a little free history lesson there. And I just thought that was interesting and wanted to share it. Anyways, attic spaces in today's context, this is an intermediate space between the roof and the top floor of the home. So you have conditioned space below the drywall ceiling in your house, and then you have an absolute, the roof is going to be on the other side of the elements. So above the roof is rain, snow, cold, heat. All the elements are on the top side of the roof. Once you get below the roof, now you're at least dry. You're not getting rain and weather, but you are getting all the temperature variations in this intermediate zone. So it's really important that attics are insulated well, and that will keep the home from getting super hot, super cold, depending on the season. But that's how we deal with that temperature range from the outside to the interior living space. We insulate the attic. That's primarily how we stop the heat loss and the temperature variations. And we can get into insulation in just a minute, but insulation's key. The other thing that's key to mold prevention in an attic is airflow, ventilation. There's two different ways that air enters the attic. Primarily, it's soffit vents on the edge of the house where the roof is sitting on top of the house. There'll be an overhang of, say, 36 inches or 2 feet, and there'll be enough space to insert several soffit vents, usually on the back of the house, so it's not aesthetically something you see when you walk up to the house. But that is designed to bring air into your attic space, and then roof vents are designed to let that air exhaust out. So when your temperature in the summertime is getting really hot up there, ideally that airflow is going to help keep the heat from being really, really hot. It's still going to be, excesses of 100, 120 degrees, maybe 140 down in the south where the temperatures are really, really hot. So that airflow is really important just to keep the temperatures from being extreme. It's also important to be able to keep the humidity from getting extreme, and condensation on the bottom side of the roof. So if you have a lot of roof ventilation, but you don't have adequate intake air through your soffit vents or your gable vents, which are located on the end of the house, usually gable vents are used when we don't have room for soffit vents. That's another type of intake air, or intake vent is your gable vent. Either way, your gable vent, your soffit vent, bring air into the attic, and then it's going to escape through the roof vents. And if there's not enough intake air, that's when you have the biggest problem. Most of the time, there's always enough roof ventilation. They just put enough roof vents in most of the time. It's the intake air that's overlooked, or it's underemphasized. So when you don't have that adequate airflow, all of a sudden you have a buildup of humidity so bad that it will start to condensate on the bottom of the decking of the roof, and you will have mold growth as a result, usually at the bottom part of the roof. And sometimes it's only on one side of the roof. But those are ways that humidity, it gets high and the air stays stagnant, and mold as a result on the bottom of the roof decking. You also can have humidity from exhaust fans. So when you have like a shower and there's an exhaust fan and that's routed up into the attic, if that's just literally pumping hot air right against the bottom of the roof decking, that's going to create condensation too, and there'll be a ring of mold around that area where that tube is venting your exhaust fan from bathrooms into the attic. Those are sources of higher humidity and actual isolated mold growth right in that one little space. So there's other factors. Obviously rain, if you have a roof leak and the roof decking gets wet over and over, that adds humidity. It also adds just moisture on the wood itself, and that's going to grow mold. So anyways, those are a few factors and reasons that mold grows in the attic space. It's very difficult to get rid of that mold. Just like a crawl space, an attic space is a hard place to work. You're crawling and stepping on support joists so that you don't fall through the ceiling. Or you put down planks and you walk on the planks. That actually makes it a little harder place to work than a crawl space. The other thing is the extreme heat and the extreme cold. So if we're trying to remove mold from roof decking and rafters, and it's winter time, that's actually better than summertime, because at least you're not going to have heat stroke dynamics, but it gets really, really cold. So you're wearing a lot of winter clothes, your hands are going to get extremely cold. The rest of your body, not so bad, but your hands, using them to clean mold off of surfaces, not fun. So anyway, like spring and fall, those are ideal times to actually do mold removal in your attic space. Doing mold removal in the summer is dangerous. I've done it a few times. I've been in the suit, been in the full face mask, in the 100+ temperature. The temperature is bad, but what's really bad is the way that a Tyvek suit sort of traps all that heat, body heat, and it just makes your body overheat, and you can definitely have a heat stroke. And if you pass out in an attic, you can fall through and get really, really injured. So anyways, that's just a little bit of a tidbit on the actual remediation in an attic space. It's done the same way. We use peroxide product to clean the mold off the wood, but it's highly, highly difficult, and just something that you'd want to avoid for sure. So the other thing that needs to happen in some cases is the insulation needs to be removed, the old insulation, vacuumed out, so we can get rid of, dead mice, birds, other varmints, things like that, and get that attic clean, all the feces, etc. HEPA vacuum that up, and then get it ready for new insulation. New insulation is a thing that I do offer. I'll probably do a separate video just to talk about the key things related to insulation in attics, but this video is about mold and attic space and ventilation and why it needs to be ventilated so that you don't have mold growth. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now. We'll do additional videos about the importance of insulation and the way that we take it out and add it back in. But for now, Ben Fetzer, Advanced Microbial. Have a great day. We'll be talking soon. If you like this video or find it helpful, subscribe or give us a like. Thanks.